not an anime channel. Japan, the great land of amazing animation, created the perfect combination between high school, romance, drama, competition, tradition, and most importantly, the bond of friendship. The creators of this anime somehow made a game only played in Japan, which requires equal physical and mental effort, emphasis on the mental effort, appeal to a gaijin like myself. You might or might not know which anime I'm talking about. It's that one very beautiful anime which I finished binge watching in 4 days. All the specials, the movies, extra research. Oh yes, it's Chihayafuru. That anime where not only high school characters obsess over the game Karuta, the 100 poem card game, prior to watching Chihayafuru, an anime I came across because I had seemingly nothing to watch and it just happened to be in the josei section of 9 anime. I had absolutely zero idea about what Karuta was. I didn't even know it was a thing that existed. Yet in 4 days, I will emphasize this 4 days because I managed to more or less understand the mechanics of the games and be interested enough to search up team matches and queen matches. When the series began, I did not think much of it because Chihaya only played the game because Arata liked the game and she was trying to be his friend, and in their school they had a tournament, in their primary school they had a tournament where everyone participated as long as they memorized the poems. So the story started a bit slow, but you already know that didn't stop me. But when I started watching and the story proceeded and the friendship of the characters was introduced and how they bonded over the game of Karuta while striving to become the best at something through a game that brings people of all ages, genders, and backgrounds together. Oh boy, you already knew I was in for the long run. That tiny little piece of my heart that is a sucker for friendships and romances and competition told all the other parts to just step aside. It is my time to shine. We're going to finish binging this and we're going to know absolutely everything we can about it. Now, I already explained how Chihaya got into playing Karuta competitively. But what I didn't mention is how she formed the team. And they were so smart in capturing our attention when coming to this. Because Chihaya, she appeals to each person's individual interest. The first member she got to join the team, the high school team, was Taichi. She appealed to his loyalty by saying, hey, if in this game I'm able to rise to Class A, you're gonna make a club with me. And Taichi being Taichi and Taichi loving Chihaya, of course he said, you bet. Subtle hint and spoiler, he lost the bet. She then manages to recruit sweet old Kana-chan, who absolutely loves Japanese traditional everything, and said that if they wear the traditional clothing to tournaments, and that if Chihaya models for their shop, she'll absolutely join. Chihaya also appealed to her by saying that she was already best friends with all of the poems, which in the story is very, very important, as only the best players have a deep bond with the cards. After Chihaya agrees, Kana-chan just says, yes, okay, I am on board, I will play with you. Then comes Tsukue-kun, a dude who is very lonely and studies all day on his desk. That's why they call him Desk Dude. The way she appealed to him was by saying that Karuta is a game which is very intellectual and requires a lot of memorization skills and will, therefore, make your memorization skills so much better. Also friends. You can make friends. Finally, she gets Nikuman-kun, a boy she played Karuta against when she was a petite youngling. Because he could not be the best in his age group, the person who did not allow him to be the best is actually Arata. He chose to replace his love for Karuta by playing tennis. Chihaya was able to convince him that tennis was not going to do it for him and he had to play the game instead. She said, hey, if I win, you have to join us. Play against me. She won and he joined the club. While this process took place, the anime did a great job at introducing the viewers to the game. They explained gameplay, player dynamics, strategies, how beginners start playing, how the cards are read, what the different poems mean, how they can be interpreted, and we can't forget the ranking. At this point, I was still not 100% involved in the game itself because the romance, the love triangle between Chihaya, Taichi, and Aruta was just beginning to boil up, and you already know I am a sucker for that. They were putting a great focus on how Taichi, he came back, and he came back strong, and he is going to defeat Aruta, and that Aruta, he wants Chihaya to be with him because she just cared about him always, and she was nice enough to go to his house and convince him to continue playing. But when the tournaments began, when the tournaments began was when I started searching. It was Chihayafuru on one tab and Google on the other. They would talk about something in the game, I would search it up to make sure it wasn't fake anime stuff. And by season 3, they already had me counting cards. Well, not really because I never actually played the thing, but I could recognize a fault, I could see which cards were being played, and I was starting to keep track of which cards were being read. I could only do this because they also had subtitles for them. Chihayafuru, like all anime, added a great sense of exaggeration to the story. They did so by saying that great players have amazing hearing and they can hear the words before they're even said, and they have this inexplicable bond to the cards. For example, Shinobu, they describe her as only having the cards as her friends, and that she can actually see them calling for her, and her fingers are connected to them by strings. They also said that the best players have great game sense, which I still don't understand, to be honest. The way they played was still the way it was played in real life. They just added like some pedals and some BS, like oh my god, I can see this card is red. Like that's not a thing. This card is green. Oh, because this card is the spring and this card is autumn, and then they are all love poems and all. And you already know that means my little pea brain went into autopilot and said, if I memorize all the 100 poems in Japanese, a language I do not speak, I too can play this game. I can be like my favorite anime characters. I can do this too. This was further encouraged when they put a team of gaijins just playing. However, they did note that all of them grew up in Japan and their first language was Japanese. So another aspect that drove me to keep watching was the amazing character design and how seemingly all of the characters had at least some type of character development throughout the whole story. So even minor characters that we would only see a few times, it was noticeable that they had changed in some way, shape, or form after having played some other games or having some different experience or gone through training or whatever it is that they did. Come baby. So even when I knew that I was watching the same game being played over and over again by the same people, it was still different because now they had different motives. All of them had improved their strategy. They had changed how they played. Some were more observant, others were faster now. And it was really exciting to watch every single match just because of that. Because yes, they were playing the same people, but these same people were stronger now. They also managed to make all the characters more relatable by recognizing that even good players have their bad days. Even the queen lost to Aruta, but I think they just wanted to show that Aruta was so much better than her. But Aruta, he lost to this other dude that was in Chihaya society, and the bear, her teacher, he also used to lose some games. So they showed that they're human too. No, they don't win all the matches, and yes, they can be good players even without winning all the matches. They also made it so that whenever there was some sort of conflict in their personal lives, it would affect their gameplay, which I think really reflects real life, because sometimes when you have an exam coming up or you have to go on stage or something, I don't know, just you have something important but something happens, like you have a fight with someone or someone said something wrong to you, it will knock you off a little bit. And they show that in the anime, which I appreciated. I really appreciated that, because a lot of time in anime someone says something and they're like, you know what? I'm gonna be better now. I'm gonna be better than you just because you said that. So you shut up. Now you come play me, and then pa pa pa, I killed you. They didn't do that. They also acknowledge that the older players, even though they have more experience and they're better at organizing their cards or whatever, and they can read their opponent better because they've done it so many times, they recognize that their physical ability is not the same anymore. For them to play a whole game, it's tough on their knees, they're not as fast, old people stuff. Another thing they emphasized on was luck. It was clear that they wanted to show the audience that even if you're a good player, when it comes down to luck and there are only 2 cards left, yeah, okay, it can be fast enough to take the other card, or you can manipulate the other person into making a fault or something. But if you don't get lucky and your card doesn't get called, and if the other player is equally as good as you or better than you, and you're not lucky, you're gonna lose. Or they're not lucky, they're gonna lose. They even went through the trouble of following players that work their butts off but still can't rise to Class A. They stay in Class B, or they stay in Class C, or they just keep sabotaging themselves to an extent where whenever they get to the last game and they're about to qualify, they don't qualify. It just doesn't happen. And it's very sad. But I'm glad that they acknowledged it. In my opinion, this was very important and crucial to the story because it gave the story a more realistic lens. So it allowed the audience to actually see, hey, this is what actually might happen if real people are playing it. And not everyone is playing just to be the best. And a lot of people are just playing for fun and because they like the game. You don't have to be the best to play. You just have to enjoy it. Now, having caught up with the series, all I can say is, hurry up and make the next season because I absolutely want more and I will binge watch every single thing you give me. Thank you. I want to see if Chihaya becomes queen. I want to see if Taichi or Arata wins. I want to see who becomes the one true love. If it's Taichi, if it's Arata, if it's none of them, if she's just ha, screw y'all, I'm gonna be by myself. I also want to see what the future of their high school club is going to be like. If they're going to get enough people to continue, well, they kind of did hint at that in the end of the 3rd season. But is it going to continue beyond that? After they leave, is it just going to continue for a bit and then it's going to end? I want to know. I really want to know. I want to know what Chihaya is going to do with her life. Because she said she wanted to be a teacher now, but I can't imagine that. What kind of teacher she want to be? Tell me. I want to know. Good news is, there is another season coming up. Next year. 1 year is not that long. I can wait 1 year. I just hope they keep their promises. I just want to watch it. And all I can tell you, my viewers, is go watch it. Go binge it. You'll have a fun time. If you like competitions, there's competition. If you like cheesy love stories, there's cheesy love stories. If you love high school whatever, there's high school whatever. If you love Japanese traditions, you'll learn a lot about it because they talk about the traditional clothing, they talk about the game, they talk about what the poems mean, they talk about different eras. It's beautiful. Watch it. You will not regret it. If you regret it, you won't. You won't regret it. Just watch it. It's really good for your health. So that is it on my opinion of Chihayafuru, the amazing anime that made me binge watch it way too fast and I had to take 20-minute naps in between because my eyes hurt too much from staring at a screen. Remember to blink. Leave a like if you like this video. Comment what I should do next because this is a very random channel. I'll do whatever I feel like. And if you give me a good idea, I'll probably do it too. Also comment what your thoughts on the anime was if you watched it. If you didn't watch it, go watch it. Hit the subscribe button. I post videos every week. I'll see you next week. Bye!